Hey guys, so Cyberpunk 2077 has been out for a little while, and I was one of the lucky ones to get a review copy, and I've been playing it and enjoying it on my PS4. But yeah, there definitely has been some buggy issues. Now for me, the game, it wasn't bricked or unplayable, it was just kind of buggy as hell. It only crashed on me a few times, so I really consider myself to be one of the lucky ones. But I have been seeing a lot of people with issues on YouTube and on Twitter complaining about the game how it's unplayable. CD Projekt Red was offering refunds. PlayStation pulled it from the store, so it's really been quite a disastrous launch for this game that I was looking forward to for so long. Like, I was watching all the Night City wires, all the trailers. I was so pumped for this. I was convinced it was going to be a game changer, but it really kind of stumbled out of the gate. So when CD Projekt Red reached out to me and asked me if I wanted a review copy, I downloaded the copy, and I did intend on doing a play along and reviewing it. But because it was buggy and I really didn't feel like I could give an honest opinion of the game when it wasn't really completed. You know what I mean? It wasn't the game they intended to give us, and it wasn't the game that we expected. But having said that, I'm still enjoying the hell out of it. I'm really anticipating all the patches. I mean, they've fixed so much already, but when these patches drop in January and February, I'm really kind of like really going to dive back into it. So I have put it on pause for a little while. I'm just waiting for those patches to drop so I can get the full experience of what they wanted to give us. But today, CD Projekt Red released a statement from one of the co-founders. So I thought I'd react to it today because I really do support the guys and the girls at CD Projekt Red. I know the developers are not to blame, and I think this is what this message is about from the CEO co-founder. So without further ado, let's just hear what he has to say. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, my name is Marcin Iwiński and I'm the co-founder of CD Projekt. When I started CD Projekt 25 years ago, one of its founding principles was honest and direct communication with gamers. When CD Projekt Red, the game development part of CD Projekt, was born, it added something important to that principle, the ambition to make the best games in the world. It became our mission and something that guided us up until now. Based on that legacy of genuine and honest communication, you've trusted us and pre-ordered our game. And despite good reviews on PC, the console version of Cyberpunk 2077 did not meet the quality standard we wanted it to meet. I and the entire leadership team are deeply sorry for this, and this video is me publicly owning up to that. Please don't fault any of our teams for what happened. They all are incredibly talented and hardworking.
Amen.
Myself and the board are the final decision makers, and it was our call to release the game. Although, believe me, we never ever intended for anything like this to happen. I assure you that we'll do our best to regain your trust. Now I'd like to tell you how the situation looked like from the inside. Cyberpunk 2077 is huge in scope. And I'm not only talking about quests or things you see at first glance. I'm talking about a multitude of custom objects, interacting systems and mechanics. In the game, everything is not stretched out over flat terrain where we can make things less taxing hardware-wise, but condensed in one big city and in a relatively loading-free environment. On its own, this is a challenge, but we made it even more difficult for ourselves by wanting to make the game look epic on PCs and then adjusting it to consoles, especially old gens. That was our core assumption. And things did not look super difficult at first. We knew the hardware gap, yes, but ultimately, I think that time has proven that we've underestimated the task. To give you a concrete example and the main culprit, we had to constantly improve our in-game streaming system for all-gen consoles. Streaming is responsible for feeding the engine with what you see on screen, as well as the game mechanics. And since the city is so packed and the disk bandwidth of all gens is what it is, it constantly challenged us. Every change and improvement needed to be tested, and as it turned out, our testing did not show a big part of the issues you experience while playing the game. As we got closer to the final release, we saw significant improvements each and every day, and we really believed we would deliver in the final Day Zero update.
So
now let's talk about the review process. We started sending our PC review keys in the first days of December. On launch day, December 10th, we hit the ground running with a really good start on PC. While not perfect, it's a version of Cyberpunk we are very proud of. At the same time, we're fighting for quality on all-gen consoles till the very last moment. And every extra day of us working on the Day Zero update brought visible improvement. This is why we started sending console review keys on the 8th of December, which was later than we originally planned.
Took 2
This all
days to
happened
download.
while working from home with all the challenges resulting from the COVID-related restrictions. A lot of the dynamics we normally take for granted got lost over video calls or email.
Of
and
course,
we took
as
that
well.
hit too.
Massive hindrance.
Now I'd like to tell you about our plans for the future and present a path for Cyberpunk 2077 on consoles and PC. We have already released 3 hotfixes improving the game, but that's just the beginning.
Improved it out of sight.
Our
Yeah.
ultimate goal is to fix the bugs and crashes gamers are experiencing across platforms. Please expect bigger and smaller patches on a regular basis. The first update will be dropping within 10 days, and it will be followed by another, more significant one in the following weeks. We will, of course, continue to work on the game in future updates and improvements beyond that. Our big plans for supporting Cyberpunk in the long term did not change. As for the free DLCs, our initial plan was to deliver them just after the release, much like we did with The Witcher 3. We decided to focus on the most important fixes and updates first, and we'll be releasing the DLCs afterwards. Expect more information in the upcoming months. For those of you playing on next-gen consoles in back compatibility, you can still expect the free next-gen update for Xbox Series consoles and PlayStation 5 arriving in 2021. We are aiming at the second half of the year. I'd like to end this video by assuring you that we treat this entire situation very seriously and are working hard to make it right. The guiding principles of our company are still core to what we do. We still want to make amazing games and have an open communication with you, our players. For now, our immediate focus is to work hard on making sure you enjoy Cyberpunk 2077 regardless of platform. Beyond Cyberpunk, we have many plans for the future, which we'll share more about when we're ready. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.
Okay. That's just going to end in a second. All right, so obviously, as the CEO, he made it pretty clear not to blame the developers, not the team who are making the game, the creative talent downstairs doing all the hard work. It was him and his partners and the board who made that decision to release the game early, for want of a better word. I mean, incomplete. We all kind of knew that. I've seen plenty of discussions on Twitter about the state of the game. And early on, we all knew that it was the business side of things that kind of got this thing out to the public when it wasn't ready. We've heard word that the developers actually confronted their bosses and said, you know, the game's not ready, what are you doing? And they just pushed it out anyway. Now, like I said, I was one of the lucky ones. I got a PS4 first gen, and the game's working for me pretty good. I mean, I've had other games on that console crash, so I've not really experienced too many weird crashes on mine like it has, but not frequently like I've seen some other people. But there has been plenty of bugs, which are, for the most part, interesting and funny to observe. But yeah, they really shouldn't be there in a game that's meant to be as polished as something from CD Projekt Red. I mean, I dived into The Witcher 3 last year and absolutely loved it. It was Game of the Year. It was a fantastic experience. I've not finished it yet because it's absolutely massive. But it was a groundbreaking experience, an open world RPG that pretty much did everything right. And it was a fantastic gaming experience. So having that reputation of creating one of the best games ever made, and that was their mandate, that's what they wanted to do, to have it kind of be tarnished by this rushed release of Cyberpunk 2077 is going to kind of give them a lot of work to do to regain that trust, like they openly admit. So we saw the timeline there. We're going to get 2 more big patches and a few more rolling out in the coming months. And then we're going to get some free DLC. I mean, you can't really complain about free DLC, right? I mean, that's going to open up the game to more parts of the map, I'm sure. More quests, more stories, more characters. So I, for one, have faith that they're really going to improve and fix their reputation and the game and give us something truly epic. I mean, I wasn't around playing The Witcher 3 when it first launched, so I have heard that there were plenty of issues with that when it first came out, and the patches and DLC rolled out over the course of a year or so and became the game that we know and love today. So I have faith that CD Projekt Red are gonna do right by their fans and the consumers and give us the game that we expected. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So in an ideal world, maybe they would have waited to release a game up until later this year. But having said that, the fans demanded the game be released early anyway. There was already one kind of delay and there was a bit of an outcry. So they weren't really in a position to win either way. So we got the game and it kind of fumbled and stumbled its way onto our consoles. But anyway, let me know down below what you think. Are you having issues with it? Are you enjoying the game? Are you playing it? Are you waiting? Discuss below and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.